Good morning. We are live today with Dalibor Petrinic from Tenerife. We are X3X.energy from Tenerife, and our friend Dalibor, an extreme fitness instructor, is live from Croatia. Good morning, Dalibor.
Good afternoon. It's 2:30 p.m.
Yes, it's afternoon. We have 1 hour different time, and it's correct. It's correct.
Yeah, it's not that big of a difference.
So nice to have you here on our channel. We're going to be in your channel as well. And so, who is Dalibor Petrinic?
Who is Dalibor Petrinic? Dalibor Petrinic is just a name. It's not who I am. It's same as Daniel Silipardi is just a name. It's not who you are. It's just something that we are given at birth. But basically, we are all just a consciousness that came to this planet and just got this body and to enjoy everything around us. But we are not our names, we are not our religion, we are not our parents, we are not our society, nothing. We are just a conscious, pure conscious. And most people don't realize it, because when you are born, you are just this pure innocent conscience that came to this world. You don't have your mind, you don't have your opinions, you don't have anything. But as you grow older, everything gets programmed in your brain. So that's why people, by the time they're, for example, 30 years old, they're 99% programmed. I don't know, for example, if you watch the movie Matrix, it's not a movie, it's a documentary. People don't realize it. There's so much truth in that. There's so much truth in that movie because everybody's living in a matrix. So by the time you're 30, you're not that innocent conscious anymore. No, because you are full of scars from the relationship with your parents, from your childhood, from being hurt in love, from having some traumas or some sort, from negative experiences, and all that basically conforms your identity, but that's not you. And that's why it's so important to work on yourself, on your mind, because that's the only way you can progress. And slowly the consciousness is starting to raise up. People are starting to wake up, as I like to say. It's a long process. It doesn't come overnight, but the hardest thing is, to be honest with yourself, being honest with yourself and starting working yourself and separate the ego, because 99% of the times you're just on autopilot. You are driving in unconscious mode, and most of the decisions are ego based or emotions based, and when you sort that out, basically you see how simple it is to live, and how little you need. So Dalibor Petrinic is just a name, and I'm a conscious, getting more and more aware every day, and my main, how would I define myself? As a teacher, I think, as someone who is here to wake up the people, help them realize everything that they are capable of. I'm not a classical fitness trainer. For me, even though I am a personal trainer, for me, training comes last. First is working on yourself. Second is proper nutrition, meditation. Then the last is basically training. But most of the people get it wrong because first they start training, they think they're going to fix everything else. But training is just like, finishing the diamond. Everything else, the base is working on yourself and eating properly, because there is no training that can be better than lousy nutrition. That's what people don't understand. People look at training as a punishment for what they eaten, or as a way to level it up. But when you're 20, maybe you can get away with some stuff, but when you're 30, 40, everything comes back, as you know yourself.
I know myself as well, true. So this is your main philosophy, to be conscious of your human being, your soul.
Exactly. And we are so powerful. People don't realize it. We are all gods. Universe is within us. We don't need to go to the church or anywhere else to realize that. But again, the whole system is made so people are made slaves and insecure and fat and sick, the pharmaceutical system and the whole supplementary industry and the food industry. They are all working very, very hard for decades, just to make people sick and fat. And with all this information, 95% information you can read online is fake. 95% of the researchers are fake because they are paid by pharmaceutical and food industries to give them the results they want, so you have to be really, really cautious. And unfortunately, internet brought us a lot of good stuff because there is a lot of information today, but also it brought us a lot of bad stuff. because all of these informations are false, as I said. And people, it's no wonder that people are lost, because they don't know what to believe anymore. One day you hear this, one day you hear the other one, but at the end it comes down to very, very simple things, and that is basically that all food is poison for our body. All food, nobody is right, vegan or carnivore, all food in general is poison. The goal is to eat as minimum food as you can, of course, to reject all sugar, all flour, all bread, all pasta, which is hard for Italians, I know.
Yeah.
minimize animal products, minimize animal products. Drink just water, maybe some green tea. That's it. No juices, nothing concentrated. And basically, do a post daily, do a fasting daily. So, for example, if you have 24 hours in a day, 16 hours you wouldn't eat. You would eat just in that period of 8 hours, maybe 2 meals. And that's the most important way to it's not a diet, it's a way of life, because our bodies are amazing machines that can do everything. We just have to let them. So our bodies heal in the best way when we don't give them any food. The same as with the animals. If you look, if the animal feels sick, if a dog feels sick, he doesn't want to eat, because he knows the body has to heal itself from the inside. We have amazing mechanism that allowed us to heal ourselves from the inside, but the people are constantly eating. They are addicts from food, especially sugar and carbohydrates, and that's why they never give a body a chance to recover itself. That's why I often say, imagine your body is a car, and people say, okay, and I say, well, your car is more important than your body. I said, no way. I said, okay, listen, when was the last time you serviced your car? And they say maybe on 6 months, 1 year, 2 years. When was the last time you serviced your body? What do you mean? I mean, when was the last time you did a fasting for your body? You didn't eat, for example, 2 or 3 days. Oh my God, no, I never eat more than 5 hours, So that's the first thing. What kind of fuel you put in your car? I put the best fuel. What kind of fuel you put in your body? You don't care because you think, it doesn't matter what kind of food I put. You eat junk food, you eat sugar, it doesn't matter. So those are the 2 simple things, Your liver is like an oil filter for your car. When was the last time you cleaned your liver? The liver is the main organ that processes everything, transfers the fat and everything. So those are just some of the things, and when I talk to people, some understand, some like, okay, yes, but still they live in the comfort zone, they don't want to get out. But for most people, unfortunately, they come to the point where they don't have no more choice. They become either so sick or paralyzed they cannot move from the bed, that they start thinking, okay, it's time to change something. But I think it's much easier to prevent than to treat, as the doc says. So it will be much more simpler. And it's going to get harder and harder now, because these new generations are all addicts, online world. You have these Hoovers, so children are not even walking anymore, they're just driving around on Hoovers. People don't realize how dangerous is that also, because you're making robots. Artificial intelligence is very real. It's already very, very much developed. They just don't talk about it so much. But a lot of things that you watch in SF movies, a lot of that is true. Trust me, a lot of that is true. So they are slowly preparing the people. So honestly, I don't know how this world is going to look in 2030, but I'm going to be ready, whatever it comes on.
Okay. So you already answered a couple of questions. There was about your philosophy, about how important is the food in your training day.
So important, so important. Even if you don't train, food is like so important. And I'm so surprised, so shocked. Sometimes I rarely go to the supermarket, because there is nothing you can buy in the supermarket that is good for you. But sometimes when I go, I just look at people and they're buying these bags, full packets, boxes of milk. Milk, like the worst thing you can put in your body. After the age of 3, we cannot even process milk anymore. We are the only mammals in the world that still drink milk after they're a little bit grown up. So it's all again, milk industry was pushing it for decades, making us believe we need calcium and everything from the milk, but it's such a lie. There is no calcium in that homogenized, pasteurized milk, because it gets heat up so much to kill everything inside it that it's just a very, very big stress on your digestive system. So dairy in general, cheeses and everything that comes from the cow, it should be avoided. Maybe some goat or sheep cheeses can go from now and then, but in general, to clean your digestive system, you have to get rid of animal products, at least for some time. ideally at least for 10 days. And then just drink pure distilled water with a piece of pure sea salt or magnesium chloride, and basically just drink it throughout the day for a couple of days. And amazing things happen after day 5. Amazing things happen. You know, people think they cannot do it anymore, but if they stay strong here, by day 10, you're a completely new person. Your body is clean from the inside, and you will never have sugar cravings anymore, junk cravings, and you will have so much energy because your body will start to take the fat in your body for energy. That's what people don't understand, because we have so much energy trapped in our body, in our fat cells, you know.
Same.
But we cannot access those fat cells because we are constantly eating carbohydrates. And carbohydrates is basically, it's like a very fast fuel, you know. It's like the fuel that gets burned like a match very fast. That's why after 2 or 3 hours, if you eat pasta, you're hungry again, because it was just empty carbs that doesn't give your body any vitamins, any minerals, and your body is not nourished, and you feel hungry again. But if you eat, for example, fats, if you eat whole eggs, and that's very nutritious because it's protein and carbs without protein and fats without carbs, and it's double the calories than the carbs. The fats have 9 calories per gram, and carbohydrates and protein have 4 grams. It's much more satisfying meal. So we should focus our nutrition on good fats, using hemp oil, coconut oil, olive oil, eating olives, eating coconuts, eating hemp seeds. Hemp protein is a good choice. Also the pumpkin seeds, pumpkin protein, eggs. If you have good prosciutto, I know in Italy you have it. It's also very important that it's without conservants and without additives, you know. Just the meat and some salt and some seasoning. That's all. Everything else is extra. And cheeses, if we use it's sheep or goat cheese, it's a good option. We should avoid dairy products, as I said before. And beans is also a good option. Beans, chickpeas, kidney beans I like the most. And that's basically, you know, my nutrition is very simple. It's only a few of the things that I eat, and I eat 1 or 2 meals per day, depending on how I feel, you know. But I never eat before 1 o'clock. I always fast in the morning, and I always train in fasted state. I always train without eating anything. I just drink 1 espresso before training, and that's it. I never eat before training, because if you eat before training, your body is gonna waste energy to digest the food that you're eating. So if your body is wasting energy on the food, it doesn't give energy for your workout. So that's in the beginning, you are having a deficit in your workout because you cannot give all your energy to the workout. And so it's very important.
So this is one of the, for example, you were saying before that there are so many wrong informations on internet. This is what you were saying, for example, yes. Now that they tell you that you should eat lots of carbohydrates before training, especially the bodybuilding, and yes. When you have to work out very strong. So that's totally necessary to have this kind of food before training.
No, it's the whole industry and the fitness. It's same as any other industry in the pharmaceutical industry and food industry and supplement industry and governments, politics, banks. They all created this system to spread lies, you know, because their goal is to make you fat, miserable, and sick. They don't want you to die soon because they want to make money of you. So the longer you are sick, it's better for them because they can sell you medications and everything. But just imagine for a second, use your common sense, as I like to tell people. Okay, if somebody told you you don't need a lot of food, you don't need any equipment to be in the best shape of your life, what would they make of you? You don't need medication. How can they make money of you? You don't need 20 pair of trousers. You don't need 20 pair of shirts. You don't need expensive cars. You don't need expensive boats. You don't need expensive houses. How can they benefit from you? Because the whole system we are living, it's a material world, and that's what most people don't understand. And it's a very thin line when you cross into that world without even knowing it. It's okay. We have to have money for some things. It's okay. But it is proven that everything above your basic needs doesn't make you any happier, because the more money you have, the more money you're going to spend. It's a law. There is nobody that makes a lot of money and saves. You're just spending because, okay, I'm making a spending, and 95% of those things you don't need, you never use. So yeah.
when when the athletes come to your gym, they don't only find a trainer, they find a mentor, a lifestyle trainer.
Exactly. There is so much now with the big rise of social networks and everything, especially on Facebook. I'm looking every day, some new coaches appear, and the word life coach kind of got a little bit I don't know, prostitute, as I like to say. So I don't like to call myself like a life coach. First of all, I'm a teacher, educator, you know, and basically I can share my experience, a lifetime experience of working with people and working on myself, and help people get out of the matrix. You know, that will be my main goal, because there is a lot of this, you know, people finish one NLP seminar or course, and then they try to call themselves life coaches or something, you know, because and they all learn the same thing, and they're just basically manipulating the masses. So I don't like to call myself like a life coach, but more like a teacher, educator, motivator, and someone who shows people what they are capable of, you know.
Okay. Why is different your training style compared to the others?
Compared to the others, well, now last decade there's been a rise in popularity of bodyweight training. So a lot of the gymnastics is coming back finally after being discarded for so long. Bodybuilding is always going to be popular, because bodybuilding is ego building for most men, because their primary goal is aesthetics, because they all want to look good on the beach, you know, in short sleeves. And it's their primary goal. I mean, it's okay. If you're going to be honest, 99% of people, of course, everybody would be happier to look good, but it doesn't have to be the first cause. First cause has to be health and decreasing of any pain. That's your main goal, how to be functional for as long as you can. And then the aesthetics come by itself. You know, if you fix the nutrition and working on yourself, as I said, that's the most important thing, the aesthetics will come by itself. And my method, basically, I took the best from all other training methods and put it in one concept. It's a TP fitness concept, and I've been highly researching it and developing it. And I think beginning maybe next year I will start with my educations and seminars all around the Europe and probably the world. It's a big project. I have to work a lot on it. And but I wanted to wait because I really wanted to give all the best info, because there was so much info that I had to process myself, because I went through all those stages, you know, the gyms, the bodybuilding, the ego building, you know, the muscles. And when you do the full circuit, you come back to where you started when you were maybe like, you know, a teenager or a kid, and you're playing in the park, and you realize that training is movement, training is doesn't have to be called training at all. It's just supposed to be like a child play, you know. So my philosophy is a lot of bodyweight movements, a lot of movements on the floor, crawling, animal movements, mimicking animals like bear walk, frog, apes, monkey, gorilla, lizard. It's all very effective exercises, and when people first try them, they never succeed. And it's really funny, because if you look at children, you know, when they play crawling on the floor, making saltos and everything, it's so natural for them, and it was natural for us when we were children. But as we grew older, we got stuck in this world that I just mentioned before, and we got completely separated from our true self, you know, who we truly are, an innocent consciousness that came to this world. So the only way you can really truly be happy and content with yourself is getting back as close as you can to that childhood, you know, and that means separating the ego and truly working on yourself and your issues, you know, being honest to yourself. Okay, what created me the way I am today, you know, who created me? I didn't create myself, you know. It's all those experiences that I had through my life. That's why when clients come to me first time, I always like to ask them, how was your relationship with your dad and your mother? It's so important, because those are the most important period of our time, kindergarten and primary school, and then high school. Those are the period when you get developed as a personality, and it's so easy to understand the pattern, once you get into that, because everybody has issue. A lot of children that parents are divorced, a lot of children that they don't see their dad much, or they don't see their mom much, or they lost their dad or they lost their mom. Those are people that grow up with issues, and basically they just put those issues under the carpet, as I said. But you can only put dirt under the carpet so much. After a while, the dirt gets bigger, and then when you're, for example, 30 years old, some questions start to rise. And then when you're 40, a lot of questions start to rise. And that's what you call the middle-age crisis. It's not middle-age crisis. It's just that some of the questions started to show up. And then what people do? Most of the people do the wrong thing because there is so much distractions today. Okay, and then what they do? They find a 20-year younger girlfriend, or they buy a sports car, or they buy a bike, or they go somewhere, to Himalaya or something. They think they're going to escape, but you cannot escape yourself. If you're on Himalaya, you're not in peace there, because that's the peace from Himalayas. You don't have your internal peace, So no matter where you are in the world, if you're not happy with yourself, you cannot escape it. So that's why when I start working with my clients, it's always, of course, not with all. Some just people want to get inside and you see you cannot reach them and they just want to train, and that's okay. I adjust. But for most, I like to work on that mind level, because that's what created the issue. If somebody has 20 kilos to lose, it's emotions. It's primarily of the emotions that he was eating too much, or she, and the stress. So first we have to take care of that, and training just low impact and working a lot of mobility and everything, and then the weight comes for itself. And 99% of other trainers, if they see people who want to lose 20 kilos, they just want to kill them on training, like CrossFit or high intensity. You see people sweating, they're crawling on the floor, they cannot get out of bed next day. And some people like it. It's amazing. And I'm so surprised, because I think, I don't know, maybe deep inside they're masochist or something, but people think if tomorrow nothing is pain, nothing is, inflamed, it was bad training, but no, it's completely different mentality for the fitness today. But as I said, it's still a slow process. It's going to take a lot of time to change people's heads, because they are programmed for decades, and not everybody is going to get it, unfortunately. So just some of us are going to be awakened. That's the sad fact, but it's how it is. You have to accept it. So in general, that's why I'm different. Primarily working on the mind, and the body comes later. But the mind and the proper nutrition, that's the keys, And exercise is just like the third part. Important part, of course, because people are sitting a lot. But it's the least important part in those three. And for example, most people train when they're training 3 days a week for 1 hour. So imagine 3 days a week you're training for 1 hour, and every day you are sitting 8 to 10 hours in a desk or something. How can you expect to get results from 3 hours a week? It's ridiculous, especially with the lifestyle we have today. 40, 50 years ago, when people were working in the field, that was their work. They didn't sit in a desk, and that's why it's so different. When people talk today, oh, my parents did this, yes, but my parents did completely different way of life. They were active, they were working field. Even if they were eating bread every day, it was the bread that they made themselves. They didn't buy it in the store full of additives and other shit. So it's very, very important for people to realize that everything has changed in the last 3 or 4 decades, and it was changed for the worse. Because the food we eat is GMO, it's plastic, everything is fake. Practically, there's no more organic food anywhere in the world, because everywhere soil is so contaminated from the air that they spray us, and from the water and from everything. So it's impossible. You just have to deal with it. You just have to find the least damaged or poisoned food. But completely clean is just a myth. There is no such thing.